Right, so this is where I'm living this week. It's absurdly big and white and spacious. These windows, I mean, come on. And honestly, the proportions of this room, I can't quite get it across on camera because it's just stunning. I honestly can't tell you how much I'm dying to put a pole in here. A lovely, like 3-meter tall ceiling. And I don't know if it's obvious from the footage, but this is kind of circular. This big Georgian space. God, I'm obsessed with it. And it's a bit too bright, but there's the English Channel. A little bit of a squall. Yeah. It's a big jazzy dining room and kitchen as well. Seriously, sorry, I'm all tear-stained from meditating and becoming one with the universe. You know how it is. God, look, the lighting's great. I really suit this house. Why do I not own it? Although, having said that, I ran into the guy who lives here last summer and instantly had a big conversation about manifestation, and he gets it. He gets it. He's very convincing talking about it. God, it's so beautiful. I really can't even handle it. But yeah, ran into him. And he loves this place. He's always watering the flowers and doing the garden. Anyway, we became friends, and I thought about this room a lot because it's just so gorgeous and beautiful. And obviously, it just needs a pole. Can't you imagine the pole dancing content? It would be so elite, so gorgeous. It's like this huge tall ceiling. It's at least 3 meters. You can probably hear my voice echoing. But yeah, with these gorgeous round windows and the house plants and the whiteness of the room. But yeah, I thought about it again and again and again, and now I am here. So I think that definitely counts for something. All right, so please excuse my dishevelled appearance. I just got out of the sea and don't have clothing to film in, but I'm going to have to move out of this house too soon. Why isn't it my house? So I was like, well, I definitely have to talk to the camera a little bit, just a little bit, while I wait for the bath to run. Yeah, I just came back from Edinburgh, which was a blast. It was great. I love the Fringe. It's really fun. I love live comedy. It's like, it always feels really buzzing and edgy, and you always get to see some really cool shit. And I saw, some really great things. But like, I don't know, there's a kind of, low battery, that'll never do. Yeah, so I've been told for years, you're too sensitive. And then my yoga teacher said, super sensitivity it's a superpower. It's not, debilitating. But the problem is, the more you understand, the more you realise how unacceptable everything is. And so your life gets more complicated the more sensitive you get, because you're like, it's more information. And then everyone else who's not sensitive, you're like, well, your life is easier because you can accept this fucking hellhole. Basically, I love the Edinburgh Festival, but I hate the public. And one of the things I really find tough about being in public, it's so much better living by the seaside. In Seoul, it was a massive problem as well, just because the population density. I've always had this issue, and I think it's only getting worse, or stronger, I should say. My superpower is getting stronger, and that superpower is a crazy, and I mean crazy, sense of smell. I can literally smell fucking everything, and it's ruining my life, you know? So it's kind of like I'm in a pub situation in Edinburgh and you just have to be there. And there's just people, you know, even if you're inside where it's non-smoking, every fucker has one of these cherry vape, fruity vape smoke nonsense atrocities that they walk around polluting everyone else's space with. And they think that we can't smell it or that it doesn't smell bad. Well, they are wrong, obviously. And I know people with a normal sense of smell are like, ugh, it's gross. But for me, it's not like that. I came back and I've been trying to voice record and my nose literally was making an angry clicking sound at the end of every sentence. And I was freaking out because I couldn't do my basic job, which is voice acting. And yeah, I think my nose was literally protesting because I can smell, oh, I should just check that the bath isn't going to overrun. It's full, but it's not hot enough, so I'm going to boil the kettle, which is going to ruin the sound quality, but that's just the trend this week because my nose was ruining the sound quality. Time is short. For some reason, the owner of this house is going to come back and want it. How dare they? So let me just get that happening. So yeah, I've always had this problem, and it's not normal. Other people can't smell the things that I can smell. Let me know if there's any way that you can think of that I can monetize this skill, because I mean, it may be a sommelier, but I don't drink. That doesn't make sense. So perhaps water sommelier or like bloodhound, because I can really every time I walk past someone outside, I live in the south of England, like on the end of like the absolute arse end of Kent, right on the coast, a stone's throw from the beach, as you can probably tell if you've watched my videos. I used to live in Seoul where the AQI was like over 250 nearly every day, and sometimes a lot higher, worse, disgusting air quality, everything stank. Like there's so many people crammed into this huge city. Everyone's so close, like everyone eats so much kimchi all the time and drinks so much all the time. It's not surprising that like you can fucking smell everyone. It sounds ignorant, but it's not. It's literally just the result of living in close quarters, like with a lot of people. But like you'd think in a kind of sleepy Kentish seaside town where it's a slower pace of life, you know, you're not crammed into a subway like face to face, nose to nose, like a sardine can. You'd think you probably can't smell most people that we walk past. Well, you'd be wrong, because it's just, I swear it's like my sense of smell gets stronger and stronger and stronger to the point where all products, all cosmetic products, every woman that walks past me, they've all got these, like, they all smell of weird plasticky chemicals. I can smell like the hot, like I don't know what it is, like but like the alcohol and the plastics and the unstable chemicals in every lotion, mascara, makeup product, the perfume in like hair stuff, shampoo, hideous. Like, and the air quality is at max 3. The AQI is 3 here. The freshest, cleanest air. Every time I walk past someone on the seafront, outdoors, not even near, I'm just like, oh my God, I can smell their fruity vape smoke or cheap shampoo, or I could smell like, I smell substance abuse issues. I can, you know, if someone's like acting normal, but they really smell hardcore of alcohol, maybe it's hand sanitizer, but that has its own specific smell as well. So, you know, and I can smell people's, the mold in people's houses, and that shit is really fucking common. I'm staying in this gorgeous, beautiful house, like clean as a whistle, but the bathroom smells of, well, it sounds uncomplimentary because I'm friends with the owner of the house, but it smells of single man in his 50s. It can't, like the bathroom of a single man in his 50s. You know the smell I'm talking about. And it's really debilitating, because the more I look after myself, the sharper my senses get, and the more I can smell how much everyone around me is fucking killing themselves, basically. I've stopped wearing sun cream because I eat so much animal fat. I spent all day in the garden at a family barbecue. Like, that's the height of the redness. It's fine, you know, I've stopped wearing it. Don't need it. It smells plastic and weird. I can smell the unstable compounds in it, the benzo, sulfate, paraben, phthalate, whatever it is. My mum keeps it in her cupboard when I'm at her house. And whenever she even opens the cupboard, and whenever she's ready to go out and socialize, I can't stand near her because she's put just basic like Nivea body lotion on, and I can just smell this petrochemical smell. Like all of those like cheap moisturizers are made of petroleum, and I don't know, like I feel like I'm going down this weird path where my senses are sharpening, like I'm understanding more and more, I'm feeling more and more, like I'm smelling more and more, and I feel like my intuition as well is like, well, maybe that's not true because I've just been recently deceived and heartbroken by a fucking professional employed by the NSA. So, you know, he's a professional liar. So maybe it's not my fault that my intuition didn't weird him out. But my point is that like, this has only caused me problems because other people on the same path, which sounds fucking grandiose and maybe insane, but all the things I feel and think tend to make me sound insane these days. So fuck it. But like, I don't know what it is that caused it, and I've always had a strong sense of smell, but like since I started, maybe it was yogaing, maybe it was meditating, like maybe it was all the self-care that I do, maybe it's the strong relationship that I have with my body. All of that like clues me into like more information, and often I know things and I don't know how I know them. And I used to tell people that I thought I was a little bit psychic because I don't know, I can't describe it. I just sort of receive information, but a lot of the information that I'm receiving is olfactory information. I was having dinner with a friend who's a GP, and I asked him, like, what would be if this were a symptom of something, like being able to hyper smell everything, smelling everything around you to the point where it's a bit debilitating. You like being near people is stressful. Because yeah, I was in Edinburgh, wasn't I? And trying to socialize and trying to enjoy being out and trying to enjoy shows. But it's just like, if I have to smell like your shitty, like even perfume, like high-end perfume, it's made in a kind of like cheap, chemically unstable way. And so like it's the breakdown of like these, I don't know how to describe it. It's like this overwhelming chemical soup that everyone's dousing themselves in. Like all my mum's cosmetics, I can't stand near her when she puts them on. Like being in a pub full of people like drinking different things, like having different stress responses because everyone's stressed out to fucking Edinburgh because it's so hyper busy and everyone's a performer and everyone's got this like crazy survival anxiety and FOMO and like got to see every show and get to here, drink this, drink that, eat this, eat that, on the road, get hit, you know, and it's just like manic. All of that creates a particular smell. And this is really true with like attraction and men as well. If I walk past a hot person and then I can smell alcohol or like an off chemical balance or just like cheap petrochemical products, which is nearly everybody, I'm like, oh my God. But then once in a while, someone will walk past me and they'll have like none of that stuff. They won't have like laundry soap smell or like, which is really strong, laundry soap smell, or like, you know, obviously smoking, fucking disgusting. It's so revolting. You know, like this man who just deceived me, when we first met, I didn't kiss him until maybe it was the second or third time I'd met him. And it wasn't even, and yeah, on the first day there was no kissing or anything. I was not in his personal space at all. He was very respectful, or so I thought. And I remember going like, he smells of smoke. Is he a smoker? And I asked him, do you smoke? And he was like, absolutely not, no. And then it went well. And then we went on some more dates. And then I remember kissing him for the first time and being like, it tastes like he's a smoker. It can taste fag-ash, horrible mouth taste. But then it lessened over time and I thought I was imagining it. I thought I was fucking crazy. And then way later, like a year and a half later, when I was moving back to Korea to be with him, we were doing like a radical honesty thing. And he said, so if you find a vape thing in the cupboard, I do use that really rarely, sometimes. And then this started a whole conversation and he revealed to me that he had been a smoker and he'd quit smoking He hadn't touched a cigarette until he said about 5 or 6 weeks earlier. I can't really trust this man's word because he's completely turned around on me, but that was the kind of radical honesty confession. And I was like, fucking thank you. I knew it. And it had like this smell gets infused into everything, but it was still there a month later on his clothing, in his teeth, in his mouth. I could still taste and smell it. So yeah, if you're out there smoking and deluding yourself that nobody can tell, you are wrong. We hate it. I especially hate it. But yeah, I asked my medical professional friend, what does it mean? Do I need a brain scan? Am I dying? What does this extreme sense of smell signify? And he said that, well, I don't know what disease or what pathology it would represent, but the medical name for what you're describing is hyperosmia. So that's now my drag name. Yeah, and I'm sharing this and not really knowing if there's anything to be done about it. It's just problematic. It's like knowing too much about everyone around you. I'm like, oh, that guy has substance abuse problems. Oh, this person has no self-respect. Oh, this person is really trying too hard with the girly products. This person has got a very specific type of mildew in their house. This person's laundry did not dry properly. That person had curry at lunchtime. And it's like, I feel like I can smell feelings and diseases and tendencies. It's like, I feel like apart from all the chemical wash that our environment is in, I also feel like information about the person comes to me through my sense of smell. And it's cyclical as well, because the week before my period, it is unbearable. I used to have this in the subway in Seoul. I remember being be going home and there's already a huge mix of crazy smells. And then I would know instantly if somebody got on the same carriage and they had fresh bread in a bag wrapped up at the other end of the carriage. I would be like, oh, I can smell bread. It smells like a bakery in here. And I would get it immediately. And then I'd be like, no, you're making it up. It's not. And then the crowd would move and clear. And then I would be like, no, I see the bag. It's there. Way too much detail. And yeah, the week before my period is sort of food seeking smells. And yeah, even walking up that fucking huge long stretch of Lonely Beach, I can smell the teenagers having a spliff from hundreds of meters away, hundreds and hundreds of meters. It's a problem. I don't really have a conclusion to this video. I just wanted to share it. And I wanted, I guess, to ask if there's anyone else out there who has a severe nose information. I'm nostril psychic. And I don't like it. So later, when I don't know who's gonna champion it first, but Elon or whatever with his Neuralink thing, and there's gonna be, it's 5 years from now, 10, I don't know, that chip in your brain that's gonna make you instantly psychic and you can just have all the information. Let me tell you, you're not sure that you want that, because sure, it would be great to be able to communicate so efficiently and without barriers, but fucking hell, you do not necessarily want all of that information. My nose certainly does not want that much information, and it's it's worrying. It's there's all these invisible signs, very clear signs that everyone's drenched in cancer-causing chemicals non-stop all day, and then the odd person who walks past who's not using that shit and is obviously doing the same thing as me and has a kind of organic smell. When I smell a man like that, which is so rare, by the way, so incredibly rare, but when I do, oh my God, I am what? Because it's so unusual, because I have all the information right there. And it was studied that women on birth control lose the ability to pick a mate based on pheromones because their endocrines and hormone cycles are all disrupted and fucked. But if you come off birth control, which I am obviously au naturel, I'm not taking any external exogenous hormones, Smell is exactly what attracts you to a partner, because you've got like a pheromonal thing that instructs you about like like the kind of like stuff on a genetic level, what's going on there. And so you're attracted to the smells that like fill in your own genetic gaps. And so it's like, if the person smells right, they've got the right stuff to give you a healthy baby, which is what I want. So this is my message to you, men, particularly, although everyone actually, it's not just for men. Please fucking stop using birth control. Like, get in touch with yourself and your body and your feelings. Please realize that you are swimming in a disgusting chemical soup at all times. And please, for the sake of my enormous nose, just stop it, because it's really too much. I think I might have sounded really grandiose and insane saying a lot of that, but it's my real feeling. I can smell everything. Please help, basically. Okay, I'm getting in the bath. That's it. Bye.